Welcome to our presentations. Our presentations we're talking about bank management's analysis of Vietnam Joint Stock Commercial Bank for industry and trade. So we divided our assessment into four parts. First is introductions and financial performance of bank. Second is interest rate risk and liquidity risk. Third is capital management, and last is lending management. First, talking about the financial performance and introduction of bank. Let's look at an overview of history and development process. We will see about the visions and missions, the core values, the business network, and the business line. Here is the organizational structure of bank. First, you can see the general meeting of shareholders, and under it is the board of directors and board of management who will make every decisions and make every management. Moving to the main service of the bank, they give to the all individual customers and the loan service. And analyzing of financial performance, we have two ways: is measuring the return on assets and the return on equities. Here is the graph for ROA. As you could see, there's an fluctuations here, and it decreased sharply in 2018, which nearly 9 uh, millions billions in 2018, and is not a good size. However, but in 2018, the ROA increased sharply and reached to 8 billions. This is because of the change in the net income. Talking about net income, we have to referring to NIM, the net interest margins and net non-interest margins. Uh, Net interest margins have a tendency, like ROA, has a reductions in 2018, nearly 2%, and when every time is over 2% and could reach approximately 3% in 2019. Not like NIM, the net non-interest margins has an increasing tendency when starting with 0.17 to 0.24 and to 0.33 in 2019. Uh, Talking about the ROE, it has the tendency like ROA and NIM. It starts from 11.65% in 2017 and decreased sharply, approximate 3% in 2018, and however, it increased sharply in 2019 for 4%. This is a good sign, show that VietinBank has a change in the equity capital and net income, has managed it very well to raise it in 2019. Let's move to about liquidity management. We will estimate the net liquidity gap, the liquidity reserve, and cash position indicators. When see here in the net liquidity gap in 2017 is 34 or 994 millions. In 2018 to 83,000 83,736 thousands. In 2019, 89,907, approximately 100 billion. When looking at the liquidity reserve or cash position indicators, it quite remained sustainably in 3 years during 2017 to 2019. Liquidity reserve remained about 14% and Cash position indicators remain approximately 7%. Move to interest risk. The dollar gap has an increased tendencies from under 18%, 80 million billion to over 80 billions and approximately 100 billions. The duration gap, VietinBank managed to keep the duration gap equal zero to to zero the every risk that related to interest rate. And right now, VietinBank official applied and continuously upgrade the access liability management software. Moving to the capital management. Based on the Basel I requirement, the Tier 1 capital of VietinBank raised 515,000 million in just 2 years. This is a positive signal, and the reserve of capital increased substantially during 2 years. So that shows that VietinBank really cares for liquidity when raising the reserve in capitals. Looking at the graph, the reserve remained quite good from 7 billion, 8 billion to 9 billion. And the Tier 1 capital is fluctuates in the upside down. Pillar 2 requirement between bank mission has to meet the requirements of the state bank and Pillar 2 standards. VietinBank has to manage the credit risk, the bad debt, and the interest risk quite positive, and it can improve and controls its control of governance and risk management by Pillar 2 requirement. Let's talk again about the Pillar 2 requirement. We have to talk about the CAR, Capital Adequacy Ratios. In 2017, the CAR is about 9.4%, meeting SPV regulations but fail if applying Pillar 2. So the bank have implemented some ways to improve CAR, but all solutions have been not successful. The pressure of achieving at least 8% based on the Pillar 2 put on the next years, and in 2018 is about 9%. So the bank have to issues of raising capital became urgent in this period. They have issued more than 4,000 billion for secondary bonds. They also have to restructure Tier 1 capital and Tier 2 capitals, but however, this is just a short-term solution. Moving to the 2019, the CIR raised to 9.25%, making great efforts to increase charter capitals. So the goal of restructurings are completely recorded. And VietinBank issues 5,515 billion Vietnam subordinated bonds to increase Tier 2 capital. This is the way how VietinBank completes the applications of Basel II standards. So, as you could see, VietinBank has some difficulties when raising the Basel II requirement. VietinBank still has not been successful at application Circular 41. However, VietinBank is the only bank evaluated the fish does not comply with the new standards. So, raising bank is the most urgent trouble right now in 2020 for VietinBank. We have some recommendations for the bank: improved capital from the outside source like selling stock or swapping stock for the debt securities. Last part, lending management. We break it down to three problems: the corporation lending and individual lending. About the corporation lending, most borrower enjoy stock companies and Ltd companies. The number of loans of the companies related to the state ownership accepting. The loans of the foreign invested enterprise category grows moderately in each years, and the bank not focus too much on small-sized corporations have negligible quantities of borrowing years. Moving to individual lendings is combined with household business increased remarkably in 8 years, and the individual lending accounted for nearly approximate 20% of total loans. The loan demands for individual customers increased significantly during the period. Talking about the NPL, the non-performing loan ratios, it has the fluctuates upside in 2018 when starting under 1.2% and move up to 1.6%, but it fall down right to 1.2%. So it focused too much on raising capital to meet Pillar 2 requirements and improve credit quality standards. The NPL ratio is in 2018 increased sharply. So plan to deal with the problem, they should improve financial capacity and asset quality to overcome limitations and with the development of business operation and transparency in governance. They have to build roadmap for customers to monitor the bank's activities. In 2019, as you see, the NPL decreased 1.2%. Lending activities have to prioritize and continue to expand service of loans. So thanks for listening. This is the end of our presentation.